Hey, friends! Barkey J. Dog here, back with another Christmas video for you. Now, this time we're taking a look at Christmas Oddities. What's that? Well, these are Christmas specials or one-off movies that never really made the leap into the collective consciousness of pop culture, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, or White Christmas, or A Charlie Brown Christmas. It's a pretty safe bet you'll either see those pop up on TV, or you'll get a hankering to dig them out of your DVD collection and screen them. But then there are like a gabillion other Christmas specials that never quite managed to hang around. They were fine, sure, but maybe only aired once or twice and were soon forgotten. They haven't grabbed hold of people's imagination like Rudolph or Frosty or whatever. So this time, we're taking a look at some of those oddities. Now, first up, how about this? A silent film. Wait, hold up. Don't go away. Don't go away now. Don't go away now. This is Santa Claus from 1925. In this one, it's Christmas Eve, and this mom here, not Louise Brooks, checks on the kiddies. Then probably goes out to have some bathtub gin at the local speakeasy. So the kids are just pretending to be asleep on account of they want to catch Santa. Probably so they can ask him where their dad is, and why their mom uses that white powder and has a different man at breakfast every morning. Well, Santa stops by and gets caught in the act. Then he has to tell the kids all about his life at the North Pole. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm wondering why Santa's wasting his time like this. He's got a lot of toys to deliver. So what happens when another kid catches him in the next house down the block? He's got to stop and tell the same story all over again? Or what? How can he possibly get the job done? Magic, I guess. Maybe he plans for delays along the way, like, I think he was hoping to find that hot mom still at home, but whatever. What follows is a glimpse into the life of Santa Claus. We see him spying on kids with his magic telescope. I like this one. He sees this snooty little girl putting on lipstick and face paint, and instead of a doll, he puts her down for a bar of soap and a wash rag. This other kid, he's bad, so he crosses this kid off the list. Well, this other kid here was good, so he's gonna give him a live pony. Say, what? This looks like a city kid, maybe not wealthy either, so where's he gonna put a pony? And what would his parents have to say about that? Okay, it's 1925, and there are still horse and carts in use, I guess, but then, by then, most people had switched over to cars. So, is this kid gonna keep his pony in his room, or what? Anyway, we also see Santa with his reindeer, and this reindeer was just not having it. He tries to attack the guy playing Santa, then runs off with the sled. We also see his ice castle and his elves that work on toys in the workshop. So, what makes this an oddity, exactly? Well, it was all filmed in northern Alaska, at least the stuff with Santa out of doors anyway. So it's one of the few Santa movies where you can see him in a real Arctic Circle type of environment. We also get to see some Inuit people. And at the end, there's even a bit of camera trickery as we see Santa enjoying a performance by these Christmas fairies. All pretty cool. Kino Lorber has put this out in a collection of silent Christmas films, all with a new score. It's on YouTube, but with no music because copyright and stuff for that new score. Anyway, next up we have this thing. A Davey and Goliath episode called Christmas Lost and Found from 1965. In the Davey and Goliath show, Davey is a Christian kid and he has a dog who he can talk with. Now this goes a bit far for me. I never trusted Goliath. I mean, come on. A talking dog? Who'd believe that? Am I right? Talking dog? That's crazy. More than that, who's to say this dog is kosher? What if his power of speech, which only Davey can hear isn't from heaven. In the original story, Goliath was a villain after all, so what if Goliath here is related to this guy? That checks out if you ask me. He'd be all like, "Kill the children, Davey." In this one, Davey is having a blue Christmas, out of character for a holy roller like him. See, he just isn't feeling very Christmassy, and no matter what he tries to do, he still doesn't feel like it. He meets a new friend who runs this Christmas tree lot with his dad, but get this, he sees the kid later just laying there, sleeping, out in the cold and everything, and he never even bothers to check on him or make sure he's all right. Well, that's not the Christian way, now is it, Davey? I think this kid needs to hit the Bible a little harder, don't you? Well, Davey and Goliath and company randomly decide to put on a Christmas pageant, which apparently the whole town is on board for, but poor Davey still doesn't feel Christmas in his heart yet. He even goes so far as to greedily hope for presents like a new bike. But rest assured, by the end, Davey will find Christmas in his heart, and all will be well. Now, if any of this sounds familiar, that's because the same thing goes on in A Charlie Brown Christmas, which came out the same year as this special did. Well, I'm certain the two specials were made completely independently of one another. It's hard to overlook all the similarities. Davey's not feeling Christmas. Neither is Charlie Brown. Davey has to get a Christmas tree, so does Charlie Brown. Davey's taking part in a children's Christmas pageant, so is Charlie Brown. And both pageants feature a reenactment of the Nativity. Both feature some religious dialogue through which, ultimately, the hero finds the meaning of Christmas. Davey has a dog, so does Charlie Brown. Davey has a blonde sister named Sally, so does Charlie Brown. But Charlie Brown's sister doesn't look like a butt plug. Anyway, there's lots of similarities here, but, well, Christmas Lost and Found was certainly made with care and even love. The Charlie Brown special wins this contest hands down, and Snoopy's not demonic. You will like and subscribe. Jesus, where'd that come from? Anyway, next up, something newer for you. That's right, it's Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever from 2014. This was a Lifetime Channel movie where the meme cat, Grumpy Cat, breaks the fourth wall and spews out a never-ending torrent of condescending commentary throughout the whole picture. Here, Crystal is sad. See, her dad divorced her mom and ran off with a barista. I don't know why, on account of the mom's pretty cute. I guess he got sick of Crystal. Yeah, I could see it. So let's just blame her. Anyhow, Grumpy Cat, the snarky, depressed, and condescending feline with a perpetual frown, lives in a shopping mall pet shop, and that pet shop is on the ropes financially. Not Tom Cruise-looking guy here is the mall manager, and he wants to kick this store out and get something else in there, but the store's owner hopes to come up with the rent money via this awesome dog, who he claims is worth $1 million. Crystal volunteers at the store, and it turns out Crystal can hear the cat talking to her, and now Sourpuss is her only friend. Some bad guys hear about the $1 million dog and decide to steal it. This leads to a game of cat and mouse with Crystal and the cat versus the baddies. Aside from Grumpy Cat herself, the biggest name brand here is Aubrey Plaza doing the voice of Grumpy Cat. But it's one of those voices where a little goes a long way. It's not as bad as Fran Drescher, but this almost monotone, condescending snark voice gets old fast. And the whole talking animal movies, man, that genre is so played out. I'm really tired of those, aren't you? You can tell they shot this entirely during the day when the mall was open, because it's empty. Who goes to the mall anymore? Oh, sick burn, am I right? You know what? I'm gonna shock you. I actually enjoyed this one, for the most part. The two rocker wannabe henchmen were really funny. They had a Lenny and Squiggy vibe going on. Anyway, I liked them. and they managed to overcome the wet bandit routine from Home Alone because that's who they're supposed to be here. But they overcame that trope enough to be cool on their own, and I wanted to see more of them in something else. They were really dumb, but not a real threat to this kid, but they were comically menacing, and that was funny. The mall cop was good too, and the single mom was cute. They did manage to get this cat to do a bunch of stuff, or at least appear to do a bunch of stuff through fake paws and other tricks. The cat wasn't enjoying itself though. You can tell because her ears are flattened back a lot of the time. If you didn't know, Grumpy Cat is dead. Good. It died in 2019 at the age of 7 from a urinary tract infection. The sort of thing that makes you wonder if its owners were so busy counting their cash and laughing maniacally about how rich they got off of a meme stock that they never paid attention to the cat's health. Anyway, the movie's not terrible, and they even make snarky comments about the quality of Lifetime Channel movies. So, all in all, it was okay. Mostly the parts without the cat, though. And finally, how about this thing from 1950, or 1953, depending on who you ask, called The Spirit of Christmas. This was ostensibly put out by the Bell Telephone Company. It consists of 3 parts. The first is a rendition of The Night Before Christmas, and then the story of the Nativity, both done with marionettes. And these are both interspersed with some live-action stuff of telephone company employees making Christmas books for kids. The host guy here, his dialogue was overdubbed and lip-synced by the narrator, and it's kinda jarring when you see it. There is also a live-action bit where Clement Clark Moore gets inspired to write his famous poem. Alexander Scorby plays Moore and narrates. He was a real actor, and he was in a bunch of stuff. The Big Heat, The Redhead from Wyoming, Giant, and so on. The 2 stories were made using the Mabel Beaton Marionettes, a group formed by Mabel and Les Beaton. It's not exactly competition for Jerry Anderson, but they do what they can, and they did it in color at a time when most TV sets were still black and white. Still, Santa handling his sleigh here? Man, that's some nightmare fuel, isn't it? Oh. Well, these things are oddities, but fun oddities, and while they were all sort of flash-in-the-pan stuff, they brought a dash of the Christmas spirit to people for at least 1 or 2 Christmases. And in this troubled world, that's not too bad, is it? You be good, like you know you should, and I'll see you in the next one.